The Trump administration says it's planning on tightening the rules for states to get access to federal child care funds. And the move comes after the alleged fraud scheme at a daycare center in Minnesota.
A U.S. Health and Human Services spokesperson says all 50 states will have to undergo more verification in order to get money from the Child Care and Development Fund, and the funding will be on hold until that verification is provided. News Center Maine's Sam Olson spoke with a child care provider in Windham who says any sort of funding cuts to this program would have significant impacts across the state. Sam?
Hi, Brian and Amanda. So right now, there is no real clear guidance about what the Trump administration plans to do moving forward. Maine DHHS says it hasn't had any communication from the federal government about new expectations for getting access to the Child Care and Development Fund. Today, I spoke with a child care provider in Windham who says changing or freezing these funds could have significant impacts on both families and providers. Hannah Marshall, who is the executive director of Space to Thrive in Windham, says about 10% of their families use the state's affordability program, which relies on some funding from this federal program. Across Maine, DHHS says the federal funds have gotten 3,600 children into childcare. Marshall says she's been hearing concerns from her staff about the administration's announcement, but says there are still a lot of unknowns.
There's really no clear information at this point, so we are trying to stay calm, not freak parents out, not worry too much until guidance has come out, and also knowing that there could be really big impacts. So trying to walk that line between not freaking out and knowing that it could be significant.
Marshall also says people may not realize how many administrative hoops there are to jump through in the child care industry. She says in order to stay in good standing with the state licensing to be eligible for the Child Care Affordability Program, her center has to submit documentation and meet all requirements when a licensed inspector visits every 3 months. She says adding new verification steps like the Trump administration is suggesting, in addition to all of the current requirements, would be a burden on providers. In the studio, Sam Olson, News Center, Maine.
All right, Sam, thank you.